All right. Oh, it is time, guys, to get started. So, pie flavor guitar solo. I understand that. I understand that joke. I understand that reference. Oh, wonderful. I got a perfect score on an assignment that was graded just now. It's wonderful. What time for... You listen... Hold on. You listen here. How dare you use the "it's Valentine" on me? It's funny. Not a whole lot of people do use the "it's Valentine" joke. Thank you, Nozumi. I appreciate that. I appreciate the Dr. Peppers. It means a lot. What is going on, guys? Since I have not been streaming as much because I've been so focused on my voiceover project, it feels like an eternity since I was able to see you guys. It's funny. I have not really been drinking as much caffeine. Even then, I don't actually drink as much soda as I used to. I actually drink just like either water, Gatorade, or like carbonated water. So it's really funny. What started out as a the whole Dr. Pepper thing, it's really funny because I've done very well since I've been back from Japan and since I've been very sick, doing my best not to drink like caffeine, the caffeinated stuff, and soda. One, I used to drink soda a lot, and so because of that, soda was it's not good for you. It's not good for you at all. Lost it away, exactly. And so, like, I'm making an exception today because I'm like, nice little return to stream. Just bought myself a nice little bottle of Dr. Pepper. Then after that, it's back to water and carbonated water. So, but today's a special day because we get to have the VOD with us. We get to the VOD today. I'm really happy. So yeah, try and cut soda if you can. That's my advice to you guys. And I also, like, I was cutting caffeine because I realized, man, I think caffeine is really hurting my, like, I didn't think caffeine affected me. It doesn't give me energy. It doesn't give me anything. But it does seriously affect my sleep and my ability to fall asleep. And since I basically cut caffeine out of my diet, thank you, Novum. Since I cut caffeine out of my diet, if it isn't my favorite femboy. Yes, Bubbles. Shinji. Crank that soldier boy. Excuse me. No, soda, I wonder who else might have something to say about that. Yeah, I know. I mean, anybody who can stop drinking soda, you know, I respect highly. Like I said, I didn't cut it out completely because, you know, it's one of those things where, like, I don't have a reason to cut it out. But it is not healthy, and so it's one of those things where it's okay to have in moderation. So, I feel I may hear from someone else who agrees on that very soon. Yes. So for me, I have it in moderation. But ever since I have basically cut caffeine out of my diet, like, or rather been more moderate about my caffeine consumption, I don't drink soda for the caffeine. Ever since I basically was like, you know what? Rin, how dare you! Being resubbed for 8 months. That was my favorite goodest catboy VTuber. So, this I will tell you guys. If you cut caffeine out of your diet, it does a lot of good. Because ever since I cut caffeine out of my diet, like, or really cut down on it, I have never slept better than how I am now. So, because before I would have to take like melatonin supplements. I'd be taking 10 grams of that crap, trying to fall asleep. And I was like, well, maybe I should just stop drinking any caffeinated thing because I don't drink energy drinks. I just have soda. And so I'm like, you know what? If I'm gonna have a soda, I'll have like 0 sugar or diet, caffeine free. And even then, I'm like, I might as well just get carbonated water. It's spicy water. It's very good. Love it. So that's my advice to you guys today. But anywho, enough about me. It's time for us to get on and talk about our wonderful guest today. So today, well, actually, I'm not going to do the intro yet, but for our guest today, it's very interesting how a lot of people I ask to be a guest on this show comes about through events or other things that I either participate in or I end up hosting. And so I met this wonderful individual when I was doing my first VTuber voiceover showdown way back in July, I want to say, or it was June. Either or. Regardless, our guest auditioned and took part in that, and they made it through, and they were asked to dub a thing live on stream. Feels like forever ago. It really does feel like forever ago. It's really funny because I'm having my next VTuber voiceover event on Wednesday, which is the longest one yet. This is about an 8-minute audio drama, and it's so, like, I've met so many cool people. I've met so many cool people that I've gotten to work with, and it's been so much fun. And for those that are here, a little bit of some inside thing. I got to work with my favorite VTuber, the person who I look up to a lot since I've started VTubing, and even before that, I got to work with the one and only Dog Boy, the leader of the dog army, if you will, Lucius Merriweather. And let me tell you something, that's going to be a story in and of itself. My heart nearly sank when I found out about that. And yeah, Jen, yeah. My heart sank because when I got the when I found out he was interested, when he replied, I was like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh." He replied to my comment. I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to send him a DM." I sent him a DM. He responded. I just about lost my cool on that. And then and then he's like, "All right, I'll have my management take a look and see if we can do something." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And so we connected on Discord, and I've been messaging him and one of his managers. And let me tell you something. Working with his manager, the sweetest people, the most wonderful people. Like, they are so kind. Mary is just such a gem, and his manager that was working with us, again, they are so incredibly sweet and kind. And I'm so, like, the work, like, getting voice work with Mary was just, So I can officially say that I can cross that off my VTuber bucket list. Regardless, that's on Wednesday, so I encourage you guys to join me then. But the whole point of this was that's where I met our wonderful guest today. Was my very first show, and I hold that show. Thank you, Ash. I hold that show very dear to my heart because all the people who took a part of that show, who took part in it and auditioned, they really set the stage for how I want to go about. Oh, thank you for the follow, Rouge. I appreciate that. Rouge? I meant Rogue. Rogue Temple. I'm so sorry. Don't throw more Dr. Pepper. Or do. But hopefully our guest knows how much their participation means to me. Because again, it's one of those things where I'm a small little guy. I mean, relatively speaking, 500 followers on Twitch, that is a decent number. But I'm still an unknown little guy. And so for people like our guest who took part in Quiet, Sora. Quiet. I'm not even into Sonic. Not in that. Yeah, anyway. I'm just a small guy. And so the people who really took part in my event, they mean the absolute world to me. Because you guys took a chance, you guys trusted me with your time and your energy. Yo, is that Jubilee? Heck yeah. The baking VTuber? Let's go. Jubilee was one of the individuals who helped work on this project. Fantastic work, brother. Fantastic work. Sounds so good. So many wonderful people. Anywho, I've rambled on long enough. So why don't I get this show on the road, shall we? Because our guest has been waiting. So I'm sorry, my wonderful guest, that I've kept you waiting. So today we will be welcoming the Deity of Fate herself, a red and arctic fox, whose voice can bring even the most stoic individuals to their knees and be happy to be there. Kept her waiting, huh? Oh, thank you for the follow, Bard. I appreciate that. She is a variety streamer, a finalist in the Small VTuber Awards. Oh, gotta talk about that a little bit. And a talented multi-accented voice actress. Talented is a word I think that barely begins to describe our guest today. So without further ado, please bow before your one true highness. Don't worry, I'm not gonna get it wrong. Liari. Sorry, I had to take a moment because I was afraid it's like, he's gonna say it right, he's gonna say it right, he's gonna say it wrong.
I was waiting to hear you mispronounce it, I'm not gonna lie. I was waiting for the Liari.
Please welcome the one and only Liari, and then all of a sudden I just hear, where is that sound?
Bottom.
Exactly. I just pronounced it like that. I just hear a. Okay, well I didn't hear the sound, but the sound was, I imagine the sound was there. It was just the Discord leaving sound. I'm like, well, I suppose that's what I get. Also, Rin, how dare you gift another sub? You save your money. Oh my goodness. Jubilee bongo? Heck yeah. I need a bongo emote. Anyway, chat, please welcome our guest today, the wonderful Liari. So, Liari, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good, actually. Today was a pretty nice and relaxing day. I woke up with a headache, but
oh, no.
Apart from that, I'm doing pretty good. How are you today, Val?
For the first time in a while, I feel really good at streaming right now because these past you've heard me speaking like in this introduction. A lot of great stuff has been happening. I've been taking medicine. I've been getting better. I haven't been streaming aside from the VOD, but as for everything, I feel good today because for once I don't feel like utter garbage. Thank you. So, and I've been looking forward to this because I remember when I asked you a while back, I'm like, oh, I want to have more VTubers who do voice acting on the site. I want to have more of them on my show. And so you're I think you're the second person I've had on my show that does a decent little bit of voice acting. And so I've just been really excited about this because, you know, as an audio engineer, I'm very excited about voice acting.
I know. Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I try my best to do some voice acting on the side. Like, VTubing or streaming takes over a bit, but
you're like, you know, I do it. I dabble in it.
I dabble a wee bit.
You know, a wee bit indeed. But now we're here, and now it's time for us to talk. So I think before we ramble and yap, because I very much am a certified yapper, I have the certification. I don't know where it is, but also I'm glad chat loves your model.
Yeah, me too. I was reading the messages and I'm getting all embarrassed and shy. You guys are very, 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 very sweet. Thank you.
I mean, look at that pumpkin. That was the first thing I saw, and I'm like, that pumpkin's adorable.
His name is Dregory. If you're
Dregory.
Yes, Dregory. Yes, he bounces when I nod.
There has to be a story behind Dregory.
There actually isn't.
What's the story?
For Halloween, I wanted to have a mascot, and I was kind of just searching for just a generic like little Halloween mascot, and I found this little pumpkin, and he's very, very cute. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll take this one. This is cute. So I got him on Ko-fi, whatever. And then like chat suddenly started being, you were either on Team Dregory or you weren't. And
yes.
Everyone now just constantly fights over making him appear and making him not appear, and so on and so forth.
So yeah, Dregory is
the story of Dregory.
Dregory. Hold on, but where did the name Dregory come from?
I like to give really stupid names to everything. And if it wasn't, it was gonna be Jimothy.
Yay, Jimothy! I freaking love the name Jimothy. I mean, if I excuse me, if I were to name that, if that was on my head, seems like a schmomp.
You do, you, my man, you do, you.
Rin, how dare you give me more money? Stop, save yourself, save your money. You need to buy your Evas. Rin really likes Neon Genesis Evangelion, and so yes, Rin, I'm gonna come for you. I'm gonna get you I'm gonna give me your throne. I'm gonna buy you an Eva in the future, not anytime soon, because I'm a broke college student. But I digress. So Jimothy Cricket, there we go. So it's time for me to ask my first, and in my opinion, most important question. That is, Leah, who are you and what is your story?
So I have this whole thing memorized, and now that you've asked it, I've forgotten. But
let's go.
Hey, what's your favorite color? What are colors? So I am Liari. You can call me Leah, of course. And I'm a Red and Arctic Fox VTuber voice actor, and I'm also a D&D DM. I'm also a finalist in the Small VTuber Awards, as you saw in my little intro, and I am the voice of Tails and Rouge in the Sonic X Abridged.
No wonder one of you said that. No wonder one of you said that in chat about Rouge.
And yeah, as for lore, the lore's quite long because, you know, D&D DM, I really enjoy my very long detailed lore, but we'll be here for a couple of hours if I go through the entire thing. So Teal'dir, I am the Deity of Fate, and that's kind of like the very, very small version. I begged the gods to swap my life with my sister's when she was killed by the king for a tarot reading gone awry.
Oh.
And instead, the gods, in their fickle ways, were like, yeah, sure, but here's the deal. You become the Deity of Fate, you both become immortal, but now you're cursed forever to watch as mortals continue in a vicious circle to rise and fall and rise and fall.
It's a...
That's the Teal'dir.
It is very much a cyclical nature.
Yes.
Now, it's interesting that, like, because as you're talking about this, the thought just came into my mind of, you ever notice that a lot of YouTubers these days have, like, more god-like backstories or, like, lore? Because, like, when, you know, you talking about your lore, Goddess of Fate, the Deity of Fate, I'm just thinking about that. Like, when it comes to my lore, it's, yes, I am the offspring of a normal human and literally the warden of hell. And I think about it, I'm like, can we just get, like, somebody who has lore that's like, hi, my name is Frank, and, I work at a Starbucks.
My initial lore, actually, when I was first kind of messing around with VTubing, because when I started, I wasn't a VTuber, and I did this on a whim, actually. But my quotation marks lore initially was basically that I was a news reporter and reporting on news as if fantasy world was real. So I would kind of, you know, how people are like, oh yeah, there's been heavy rain in this area or whatever. Instead of like just heavy rain, it'd be like, oh yes, well there are water elementals located in this specific area, so residents are advised not to go outside, that kind of thing. Reporting on fantasy things as if it's just the normal news, like a little podcast thing. And then it somehow evolved into Deity of Fate.
What is a Deity of Fate if not a news reporter? Just reporting on news that will happen.
Whether you want it to or not.
Dragorio, my beloved.
Dragorio, XL, you're grounded.
Would you like me to put XL on the Pear Wiggler? I can do that. I have that power. All right. Well, we sorry XL. You're going to the Pear Wiggler. Oh my gosh! Thank you, Lonely, so much for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. You're just in time. We started the VOD for today. Hello, my name is Val. I'm your friendly neighborhood fembat and host of the VTuber talk show, The VOD. But guess what? We have a wonderful guest today. Their name is Liari, not Liari. If you do, you will get sent to the Pear Wiggler. How are you doing, Lonely? Tell me in the chat and I will talk to you there. How dare you? This is what I have to deal with. People bully me. Let me get that shout out. Okay, you know what? Whose side are you on?
Oh, I'm on my own side.
What? Did you already know this is gonna happen? Huh?
No, actually.
No. Well, how do you
not?
Hold on, but you're the deity of fate. Shouldn't you know this?
There's a difference between knowing and being able to predict.
I can't hear a thing. People keep throwing things.
Okay, look. Consider the moon, okay? Consider the moon. It has a dark side and a light side.
Uh-huh.
And you can see the light side, but you cannot see the dark side. And our fate is like the moon. There are sides that you will not see, and sides that you will. Please just say yes, because I that's all I have.
I'm going to pretend I heard that because people keep throwing things at me. There's a couple of Dr. Peppers throw. XL? Where is it? There you go. You're in the Pear Wiggler.
Not again.
I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. Well, enjoy your lurk. Also, Lonely, thank you so much for the raid. If you need to raid and run, go for it. Don't worry, we'll be here. We thank you for trusting us with your community. We hope they stay and listen to our wonderful guests. They have a lot to say and a lot to give. And with that, go eat. Because if you don't, you're going to be thrown in the Pear Wiggler again. I like throwing people in the Pear Wiggler.
I've noticed.
It's great. It gives you a lot of power. It gives you a lot of authority. Okay, that's all I need to say. So, you know, what came about for this design specifically? Because, you know, people have very intricate models, as you can see, very intricate with me, and a simple suit and a white shirt and a tie and a pin. Very much a lot of thought went into that, you know. But for your design, Dregery aside, what inspired this design?
So, I knew that I wanted to have a kind of ringleader type outfit going on, but I wanted it to be more casual type of ringleader. So I kind of blended the whole, like the red gold kind of color scheme of a ringleader jacket, and then made it a bit more comfy. I've got a hood, and kind of like an open shirt, that kind of thing. So it's mostly just I wanted to have the authority of a ringleader, but the coziness of kind of being more comfy. And yeah, and then the choker and the earrings is just a bit of bling.
That's a choker? I thought that was like a necklace.
Potato.
That's fair. That's fair. What is the design on the choker?
It is a fox. It's like my I don't know what to call it, like a fox outline, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's like a little fox outline, but in gold. I use it for a lot of my designs. So for the magic circle in my just chatting background, I think it's also the design of my sub badge as well. Just colored in.
That's neat. Yes, Atlas. Wise words from our fox. Chloe got a small. She's got a small neck. The chokers don't come in small enough size. Clearly, dang.
Shut up, rabbit boy.
Ha! You know, it's interesting. You know, just the fox lore and all that. When I was in Japan, I took a day trip to a wonderful town, seaside town called Kamikura. And for those that might know, Kamikura is where the giant outdoor Buddha statue is, which it's the Kaminobutsu, I believe. It's a giant metal, I think it's metal, Buddha statue, and it's super cool, and it's in this nice little tucked away park, and that's what it's known for. However, the part Hello XL banished to the Pear Wiggler Excelsior. Yes. Nearby it, if you take like a 20-minute walk uphill, you can go to this really cool little shrine that I believe, if I remembered, let's see, where's it? Kamakura. I think it's like Sasuke. Oh, there it was. Yes, Sasuke Inari Shrine, which is this little shrine that it's small, it's tucked away, that you have to walk up, like a 20-minute walk to get up to. But the thing about it is a Shinto shrine devoted to the Inari spirit, and all around it are just a bunch of little porcelain foxes. And when you get up to the top, there's a shrine person up there, and they sell them. And what you do is you spend like 1,000 yen, you get one of these little porcelain ones, and you put it anywhere you want around the shrine. And as you walk, it's littered with just little porcelain foxes. It's the coolest thing.
Adorable.
The thing that sucks though is because I'm so tall, I'm 6'3", because of that, which is 195 centimeters, something like that. Because of that, I almost hit the Torii Gate shrines, or the Torii Gates, and because like there's so many spiders there. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. If you have arachnophobia like I do, I do, it's I hate it, because like several times I almost walked straight into a spider web. So, but for those that want to see pictures, here you go. This is what it's called. That is what it is called. It's a very cool little shrine. And yeah, that's just it. That's just what it was reminding me of. So, color is a big thing with designing a VTuber. There's a lot of blending of those whites and those reds. Why did you settle on red?
So initially, I was actually just going to be just a red fox in general. Yeah. The red's kind of like it's a nice regal color, you know, like red, gold, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a nice little mahogany.
Exactly. And while me and my artist were kind of going through the design, we were kind of like, well, there's probably a million red foxes, and we want something that stands out even just a little bit. So then we were kind of messing around, and then like one day he wakes me up and like shoves this design in my face, and he's like, Leah, I have it. And I've got like, got the white on the jacket, the white on my hair, my ears, and things like that. So we kind of decided that white looks, or like red and white looks way better than just straight up red fox.
Yeah.
So yeah, mostly just for the regal kind of the regal feeling.
No, I see it completely. It's Goon Afternoon, Gooners. Yay, Deeza's here. It's not a stream unless... Where have you been? Where have you been, Deeza? It's been a while since you popped in my chat just to call everyone Gooners. Oh, Wizardly Face, thank you for the follow. So, what was I going... Oh, yes. So, when I was designing this model, you know, conversely with red, purple is a very, like, purple and yellow together are very, like, regal royal colors. Oh my goodness, y'all are following me, but I guess there's another question I was wondering, because you know how like silhouettes typically play a very big part of a VTuber's design. My gosh, I'm going to put a cooldown on that. It's typically a very, you know, it's a very important part of VTubing design. Like for instance, if you see none of the defining features on my model, I try and have my glasses be the most iconic thing about my model, just because that purple offers so much contrast against my face. So what do you think in your experience in your model? What is the most memorable thing that you try and have people like associate with your model? Like they're like, oh, that's Leah's model. I know that for a fact.
Chat knows exactly what I'm gonna say probably, but my eyes, and the way that they change color. So specifically when I'm kind of just straight faced, my smiley, hey, my eyes. So my eyes are just green as they are right now, as you can probably see. But when I smile, That's when they turn more red and they like yeah.
I was
It's
about to,
it was initially yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say something about your eyes. I'm like, when you move, is my chroma key just keying that out?
No, it was a initially it was a like an April Fool's kind of joke. I was having a whole thing like where I was possessed and whatever. And then it turns out the chat really, really liked it. So I kept it, and now it's a staple thing in all my streams. It sucks though, because now chat can tell when I'm smiling. So whenever they compliment me and they see my eyes go red, they know that I'm like doing that embarrassed like kind of kind of smile.
Oh no, oh there you go.
They always know when I'm smirking.
Yeah. It's, I mean, to be fair though, that's the best kind of things about having the limitless possibilities of a never-ending editing model is that you can really do whatever you want to. And I think one of the hardest parts about creating a model is just, how can I make this closely tied to me? How can I make sure it's closely tied to what I want to be, and how do I make it a memorable design? Because to say that having it designing the model is not the most important thing, it's just like, no, it kind of is,
Mm-hmm.
it's your model is your business, that is your brand.
Yeah.
So I guess to some it's like, how do you balance out your model's own unique identity with incorporating your own personal elements? Like, for instance, I have my pin that's on my lapel, and then I have the tie clip that's on my tie, and those are two very important parts of who I am, but everything else is my model.
Makes sense, yeah. For me, I mean the eyes first of all, and the necklace probably. I think I actually recently found a VTuber. It's a male VTuber when I first saw, I saw some fan art, I think, of them, and I was really confused for a second. I was like, did someone draw like masculine fan art of me? Because that's really cool. And then I looked and I was like, oh wait, no, this is an actual other person. And they like, it was so similar. I was so shocked. Then I like, there's still definitely things that like the earring on my ear, which I don't think you can see very well, but I think it's being keyed out. Oh well, that's fine. But yeah, I have like a little earring on my
it's okay.
my right ear.
We can show the masses. It'll just, their suspension of disbelief will be, well, suspended.
Yeah. And then the necklace and the eyes. It's kind of like my defining thing.
Let's see.
And then I don't know. It's hard to say what defines me and the model, so to speak. I kind of I just incorporate every part of it into me, I guess, or every part of me into it.
I guess it's hard to just see the earring itself.
Yeah, it is. It's very thin, yeah. But for 2.0, I'm going to make it a bit more obvious.
I don't know what, on a side note, I always forget about this. Ah, there we go. Now I feel normal again. Anyway, sorry, anytime I always forget that I can mess with the footage I have, like the sources. I forget I have a 3D effect on them, so I'm just like, yes. It's a big brain anyway, I'm getting off track. So, we're talking about you as a VTuber, but without going into too much detail, what is Leah like behind the model? Because we're not just animated people. We are real people speaking under the guise of Japanese influenced animation.
I'm a lot more shy, I think. I hang out with my chat sometimes in Discord off stream. And I can be pretty shy because I am very introverted IRL. Like if I could literally just never go outside ever again, I would be perfectly content. But no, in general, I'm very similar to how I am on stream. I don't tend to put on too much of an act. I'm more confident on stream. Like I have what I call like boundless confidence on stream, and I try to help like rub that off on other people. But in general, I'm very similar. Like I still have the charisma. I'm just more shy until I get to know people a lot better.
Of course.
Whereas on stream, I'm mostly just open from the get-go.
Now, how much do you play into your character, and how differently is Leah from, you know, person behind the camera. Because at least for me, I'd say I'm pretty, what you see on stream is who I am behind. And I know for a lot of people, they really like to use their model as Leah pretends she's a top. I don't know.
Pretends, shut up. How dare you?
Never beaten the allegations. Look.
Siren and Bard try to. Okay, Elm, shut up. Don't listen to these three. They don't know anything. So, I act very like confident and, as Siren has said, top, I guess, on stream, and outside of stream, I still do have. I try to what's the word? Like channel that energy. I try to channel that confident kind of dominating energy, I guess. Not even in a sexual way, but also that. Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of hard to explain, I guess. Like I'm still very similar off, or like, you know, behind the camera than on in terms of personality. It's a lot easier for me to show it on the camera, I suppose.
Of course.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. I guess going forward, do you think that you're gonna want to experiment a little more and lead into some of your lore, you know, and you want to have like more of a lore accurate kind of thing, or are you just content sitting where you are at with, you know, you're comfortable with your current performance of, because again, this is a performance, you know, this is a performance. We characters,
I'm pretty comfortable with where I'm at, because a lot of it is also how the kind of lore accurate Liari would act anyway. She is still like a mortal that was turned into a god. She still holds all of the kind of mortal thoughts and feelings. If anything, one of the, I think it was Alm that asked me at one point, is Liari considered neutral good? And I was kind of like, oh, I hate to break the news to you, but no. She is like, she's not like this all benevolent, all-knowing kind of like, excuse me, goddess or anything. She's, you know, if she wants something to happen, then she'll do whatever she can to make it happen, or if she's wronged, then she will, you know, ensure that the person who wronged her pays. Like, she is still at her core very mortal in mind. So the two personalities are still very, very mixed regardless. But in terms of like actual performance, I don't think I would ever go too much into the Deity of Fate. Like I'm fine with role playing. And I do like to go over my lore sometimes. But in general, being the Deity of Fate is more just storytelling prop than part of the performance.
Sure. It is a delicate balance. If one tries to lean into that aspect of performance, but you know, I guess for people like us, it tends to be a little easier to do, since there's not much of a show we're trying to put on, unless, you know, try and dispel the feelings of, yes, my chat continuously calls me a bottom, and I'm just like, shut up. I'm like, can't beat the allegations. So now, are there any future plans that you want to do with your model? Anything that sticks out? Anything, you know, any big designs that you maybe hope to achieve in the future? I mean, bottom fight. What do you mean bottom fight? Sorry.
So in June-ish of next year, I'll be hosting another Leathon, and with that Leathon will come the reveal of my 2.0, which is going to be really cool. That'll basically be kind of it'll be the debut that I always wanted to do. My initial debut was very much, you know, I wasn't really into VTuber culture that much. I wasn't into the community. I didn't really know a whole lot about it. So it was kind of just like, you know, start stream, hey look, I'm a VTuber now, yay, and then play game. Whereas this one, I want it to be like I want it to be a whole thing. I have music being made. Obviously, I've got my artist making the new model. We're doing the designs now. There's the lore, or the continuation of the current lore. So where I am, or where Liari is currently right now in her lore, it'll go on or like, you know, time will move on in the world by the time 2.0 comes along. So it's showing the story that'll happen up until that point, and also explains the changes that she'll go through. And it's Leah Thon, not Leah Con. Shut up. We've been through this. And yeah, so 2.0 in June-ish of next year.
Well, I think we all need to really look forward to that. I mean, at least for me, I want to do a... I did a quote-unquote debut back in the day, but it was one of those things where I was like when my very first stream, I did one of those... Oh, I don't like to think about it. Because I was so young, I was so inexperienced. And, everything was much more polished back then. Everything was much better. Anyway, I'm just ragging on myself. The point I'm trying to make is that it is, I wouldn't mind doing another, like a re-debut. Or is just, because I think at a certain point you're just like, oh, that's what I was? But no, it's one of those things where I think we're both definitely proud of the progress we've made. As just, you know, one of those fun things where now we need to see. I just noticed a spankable tag. What could you mean by this, Valentine? Don't worry about it. It's whatever you want it to be. It's not my job to tell you what spankable means. What the hell? Chat, calm down.
Shut up.
Chat, settle down. Where's my... I don't have my bonk. You guys are lucky. You guys are lucky. It's on my different... Set up my soundboard for my Val account. Join me in the Bear Wiggler. Oh, goodness. Alright. Why don't we move on a little bit? Why don't we talk a little bit about some of your voice acting stuff? So,
Sure.
How long would you say you've been learning and trying to do voice acting? Let me be careful the bonk.
Probably
She's
since
British.
like, probably since around. So I knew I wanted to get into voice acting in around like 2006 or so, but I didn't know how to do that. The town that I grew up in was like really small. No one really, you know, did anything. So when I would watch cartoons and things like that, I would be like, I want to do this, but I don't know how. Or I didn't know that agencies existed. I didn't know that like actual voice actors existed. I thought it was all just if you work for the company, then you were the voice actor, that kind of thing. I did try in school. I went to a performing arts school, not a very good one, but I did try to go to performing arts school, but unfortunately they were very like musical focused, or like as in putting on musicals, and they kind of put a lot of focus onto what I would call the showbiz kids, the very charismatic people, that kind of thing.
Yes, the Leo DiCaprios and all that.
Yes, exactly. And not a lot of because I loved doing drama, I loved doing performances, I loved doing improv was like my favorite thing.
Improv is the best.
And unfortunately they just, because I wasn't incredibly charismatic, I wasn't outgoing, I was very introverted, I was very shy, they just kind of skipped over me and that was it. So I never figured out how to do voice acting there. A couple of years later I went to a convention and I met the voice actress for Ash Ketchum.
Veronica Taylor?
She actually gave me a lot of really cool information. Yeah, it was so cool.
Hell yeah.
And she gave me loads of really cool information on like how these things even work, because I was under the impression that it was just okay if it's if it's Fox, running Pokemon or whatever it was at the time, 4Kids, Fox, goddamn, 4Kids, running Pokemon. I was looking at the word Fox and it just came in my head. ADHD. Yeah, it was 4Kids, so if you worked for 4Kids, then you do the voices for 4Kids cartoons, Yeah, and it wasn't only until I met her that I realized that this is actually a thing where people can do multiple voices for multiple different companies and that kind of thing. And then from there, I kind of started to do like little indie auditions. I was part of a Skyrim, like a Skyrim mod thing, which was hilarious.
Oh.
I think it's still there, but it was like, headset microphone. It was
It's
it
funny.
was terrible.
It's funny that you say, because I think when I was in high school, if we want to be technical of like yes, the first like kind of VO project I ever did, it was my buddy, There was my brother's friend who was saying, "Hey, do you want to do like a voice or whatever for this like GTA 5 like little short film I'm doing?" And I'm like, "Okay." And so this is before I discovered that I wanted to do audio engineering and voice acting. And it was so funny because it was also with a like a headset, my gaming headset mic, and I was like, I was thinking I was like 16 or 17 at the time, and
Yeah.
I waited until like basically all of my mother and like my two other brothers like left, and it was just me at home with like one other brother, but he was in his room on the other side of the house, and he was probably playing games, and he still couldn't hear me. So I walked into my parents' bedroom. I walked into their closet. It was a walk-in closet. I'm like, this will be okay. And so I walked in there with the headset plugged into my phone, recorded that, and like, oh boy, was it like you could find it if you found, I'm not even gonna say anything about what it was. I know exactly what the video was. I know where I can find it. If I went and listened to it, I would cringe. So, but we all got to get our start somewhere.
Yeah, and I started out around. I looked around. What was it called? Voice Acting Alliance, back when that was the thing.
Oh yeah.
I would find free projects there. I did an Alice in Wonderland thing that unfortunately never, got to fruition. But hey, I passed the audition, so that's got to count for something.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've had a bunch of setbacks though. With my demo reel, which was it's a really funny and also really weird story. I made the mistake of hiring someone on Fiverr to kind of script and mix my demo reel. And the script that they gave me, I think I told you the story. I can't remember. Chat knows the story.
I don't know.
Or they better do. He wrote a good story. Shut up. The script that he gave me kind of felt like it was something that he personally wanted to hear, and I think that tells you everything you need to know. It was weird. It was really weird. It wasn't the kind of thing that I would ever send to a professional company, because they would be like, what kind of weird fetish shit are you sending? So yeah, I asked the guy for feedback on my voice, and they were like, oh yeah, here's the feedback, just try and make sure you can do a bunch of characters. Like I was asking for feedback on my voice specifically. Oh yeah, just make sure that you can do a couple of different voices. Like I'm obviously not getting what I need from you, so just whatever.
Yes, because remember, voice acting is just impressions. You're just an impression.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the biggest thing, is that people like, when should I get a demo reel? And the general consensus, and especially my own opinion as well, is after you've taken acting classes. Because if you want to get into voice acting, chat, if any of you want to get into voice acting, that's wonderful. Voice acting is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful opportunity. It also presents its own unique challenges of acting, because it's acting without having a physical form. And so it's a little more difficult to do, because you have to convey all of that feeling, all of that situation through simply tone and voice and just how you act. And the thing is that for a lot of people, a demo reel is not a showcase of how many different voices you can do. It's a showcase of your acting ability.
Yeah.
And a lot
say
of
things like, "Oh, I can do this character really well. Like, that's really great, but so can the voice actor of that character. You need to do you really well."
It's like, yes, I can do a really good a Bender. It's like, oh, cool. So can John DiMaggio, the guy who voices the guy. It's like, can you do your own voice? That's me doing it. It's like, and that's the biggest thing, is that, again, voice acting isn't impressions. It's straight up acting. And
yeah,
if you're at a point, I'm not a big fan of voice acting workshops. In my experience, and from what I've heard from people, they tend to be a waste of time. However, if you work with an acting coach, that is not a waste of time. That's not a waste of money. So if you work with a voice acting coach as opposed to a general workshop, if you're going to a workshop that's free, yes, by all means go. If you're paying a lot of money to do workshops, no, you're paying to network. You're not paying to learn. A lot of people don't like to hear that. Tough. I have to break it to you. Yeah, those events are for networking. Those events are not for learning. And I said that because you meet a lot of wonderfully great voice actors. The point I'm trying to make is that when you make your demo, it will cost, like if you want a good demo, that's going to cost you a lot of money. Because the demo I'm working on, it's about $1,000. It's a lot of money. But it's being mixed and mastered and written by several people who work for Crunchyroll, which, oh boy, Crunchyroll. That's a whole other can of worms. Point is that dude is one of the big ADR engineers over at Crunchyroll, and so like knows what he's doing. And so if you want to get a demo done, you'll need to get it done by somebody who really knows what they're doing, because
and doesn't give you fetish scripts to read out.
Doesn't give you fetish scripts to read. Remember, guys, a normal demo consists of probably 5 to 10 seconds for each different thing you want to do. And the first one better not be, oh boy, I love me some toes. Because if it is, that's not a demo script. That is a fetish script. Run.
I think I sent my chat the actual script.
No!
I'm not gonna say it out on here. Don't worry, I'm not gonna... It's just like, I did send them the script and everyone was like, what the f...
Stinky Leah
It was
RPG
interesting.
script.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
No!
God. Holy crap.
Okay, but how funny was it, though?
It was not at all. It was meant to be the comedic script, and it's like, yes, it's a queen you play a queen who has been given a treasure by someone to pledge their loyalty, but then you realize that they smell, and you're telling them as much. And like, I'm sorry, I'm doing what now?
Can I share a story real quick?
Sure.
So, pardon me, we have to wait for the wonderful Rogue Tempo to stop throwing things. Because guess what, guys? If you cheer bits, you throw twice the amount of things you cheer. So if you cheer 100 bits, it throws 200 things. I'm just saying.
Also, a wizard has the right of it. That's what it was.
It was a stink guide degree. No! Ugh. Bad sus behavior. Oh, gross. Also, thank you, Rogue. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna tell a little bit of a story real quick. Okay? So, when I was just starting out, before I was getting a lot more work that I get now, I paraded the internet and I was looking for different resources to go to. You have Casting Call Club, you have 123 Voices, you have Twitter casting calls, you have Reddit ones. But one that I would peruse a lot is called r/record this for free. Now, r/record this for free is a subreddit that's it's on Reddit, and people can post ads for gigs or things that they need for free. The idea is it helps you get experience, it helps you get exposed to certain people, and it's very much a lot of them are good and in good faith. However, there's some that are just like, do I really trust that? Is that, like, if I'm looking at the first one right now, it says sultry female voice needed for one simple line only. Need a female to replicate a line the late Vampira said in one of her shows. It doesn't need to be a high-end recording. You just use your phone. If interested, DM me. I'll send you the clip. Would love to get it before Halloween if possible. Thanks. A little worrying, a little concerning. Doesn't need to be the best quality. Just record on your phone. Get it to me as soon as possible. It's like no, please. So, way back, like, my freshman year of college, I wanted to do some of that work. And so, I found one that was for this project, which I won't talk about. And in it, the person was like, can you record these characters for a little fan comic I'm doing about, what is it, Miraculous Ladybug? I think that's what it's called. And so the character that they wanted was it Cat Noir? Is that his name? It was voiced by Bryce Papenbrook. And it was like, okay, you know, I can. He's like, what do you want? He's like, can you do an impression of the character? I'm like, I try my best, and so I sent the impression. He's like, okay, that's good. Can you read this script? I'm looking at the script. I'm like, what is this script you sent me? It's like, well, it's a comic. I'm like, this isn't a comic. This is a smut. It's like, what do you want me to do? It's like, basically along the lines, look, I need this. I'm like, what do you mean you need this? It's like, and what I will tell you is what I ended up I didn't do it. I kind of just left the dude on red because he's like, I need you to do this. I need you to make him like... You
need a shower is what you need.
You need a shower. Need Jesus. And
I had
so...
a similar one where someone asked me if I could do a Pikachu voice, and I was like, yeah, cool. Can you do Pikachu moaning? Like, what?
that was basically it. It was like, can you do, you know, it's very much like a femboy voice, and I'm like, okay. It's like, can you moan and sound like you're getting railed? And I'm like, the hell? What? Okay, nope. I'm out of here. And so this dude was if you've seen that one, like the one like Cowboy Bebop little meme on the air of like, please ma'am, I need you to kill me. I love the kind of woman that would just kill me. It's like that kind of level of desperation of, please, I need this. You don't know how much I need this. I'm like, what you need is a shower, a therapist, and a exorcist. And he said, I need this. Man's on his knees, more or less. And so, like I said, there are thank you, Gianni, for the Cowboy Bebop meme. They get it. Gianni Madrigano. Freaking love that guy. It's if you haven't seen it, guys, go check it out. It is life-changing because even the audio mixing in it is very funny because when they shift the camera to outside, it's very muffled. Very easy to do. Just throw a low-pass filter on that, cuts all that out. Sounds like somebody's talking through a wall. The funny thing is, somebody pointed out it cut to like across the street where you see the outside the building. It implies they were talking so loud that you could hear it across the street through a concrete wall. Great video, great artist. Anyway, I got way off track. So since those days of yes, you have more respect than I would have gone. All right, 201. Okay.
See, that's why I say 100k bits for something I don't want to do.
Okay, well that's the thing. Back then, I had a little more self-respect. Nowadays, I'm like, oh, you want that? All right, that'll be $200. But you said 50. That was before I knew what I was getting myself into. People may call me a sellout, that I have no self-respect, and to which I say, you're right, I have bills to pay. All I have to say, guys, some of the most famous voice actors you know for your childhood. Hold on, let me Yu-Gi-Oh! English voice actors. So, some of your favorite voice actors. Dan Green. Where is it? Dan Green, Amy Birnbaum, Mike Pollock, Megan Holdingshead. Where there was like another one. Basically, a lot of these people you grow up watching, especially Dan Green is the biggest one I was pointing to. They dubbed hentai in the 90s. That's where they got a lot of experience from. So, understand. Yo, a Twitch talk show? Yeah, that's it. You're on it. Welcome to the Twitch talk show. That's all I gotta say. Dan Green, the voice of Yugi Moto, dubbed hentai in the 90s. But now we know him as Yugi Moto, one of the most iconic voice actors of all time because of that. So if you think you're above that, are you above Dan Green? Are you better than Dan Green? Are you better than all of those people? Just know, it's called experience. Anyway, sorry. I always find that funny because people get really shocked. They're like, no, not my 4 kids voice actors. They recorded adult stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, they were doing that in the 90s. Everybody was doing that. So what you're saying is we didn't practice our hentai lines. Hey guys, this is a Patreon exclusive voiceover event I'm doing. No, I would never do that. I would never do that. Don't worry.
100k bits.
How much bit? How many bits? 100k?
100k. That's always my go-to for anything I don't want to do. 100k, because then if someone does it, then hey, I win and they win. So I'm not above doing things like that, but you're gonna pay for it.
100k bits? That's about $1,000.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So guys. If I put that goal out.
No.
If I put that goal.
Oh no.
No.
Oh
maybe,
no.
Maybe. No. Maybe I'll think about it. Think about it. Someone's debating it. Look. I got bills.
Of course they're debating it. I recognize most of these names. Of course you're debating it. Go take a shower, chat.
There is hope for my VA career yet. Who did that? Oh, thank you for following, Future. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, checks bank account. I'm like, $1,000 to make it. Yeah, well, I do gotta pay rent. It's not good. Anyway, so.
Okay, man.
So since doing those original projects, getting that experience back in the day, how much do you think you've changed since then? What skills have you come to learn and to grow into that you wish you knew at the beginning?
Probably kind of like what you said before about how it's not just about doing different voices, although that seems to be my niche, but about the actual acting. So one thing that I found that when some people, good grief, when I do work with some people, they're amazing at like doing a voice, but the emotion isn't there, and that's one of the things I try and I put a lot of effort into now, because before I just didn't. I would just do the voice and that is it. But now I know the value of actual emotion in lines, in voices, and that kind of thing. So despite having a bunch of different voices, I put more effort into the emotion rather than the actual the different voices or accents or anything like that.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting that you bring that up, because when I was working with people, this past week, this past weekend, it's really interesting. I'm not going to name them by name. They're very cool. I got to work with a much more than average professional voice actress. She's wonderful. And it's interesting to see their performance versus somebody who's much more amateur. And I'm not saying one's better than the other by any means. I don't want to make that comparison. I'm simply saying that the knowledge that they have compared to somebody who's a little more amateur, it's very clear to me how different that level is. Because their acting was much more within their natural voice and their natural range. And so when I was working with several other people, when we got started with the session, they started to do the lines, and I said, and it was clear they were doing a voice, and I said, hey, could you maybe do this in just your own voice? I don't want an impression. I don't want a voice. I want it to sound naturally you. I'm like, okay. And so they did it. And when they did it, it sounded so much better. It sounded 10 times better. It sounded more professional. It sounded more believable because they were doing it in their own voice. They weren't having to put on a voice to do it. And because this is an audio drama, this is an anime, this is an audio drama that I'm doing, you want believability. You want... Yeah. This is essentially on-camera acting without a camera. And so the thing is, most people in say, a horror movie are not putting on a voice to do the acting. That's just their voice. That's how most on-camera work is. And you'd be surprised... Chat, if you're doing voice acting, you'd be surprised to see how much better your normal voice is when it comes to these performances. The great Nolan North, one of my favorite voice actors, I got to meet him and speak with him one-on-one for quite a little bit. The best advice he ever told me was this: people want you for your voice. They don't want you because you can do a different voice. Because when he would get roles back in the 90s, it was always in soap operas, like on camera roles. It was soap operas. And so he would either be cast as a doctor or a cop or a lawyer, how he affectionately called his favorite role, Dr. Cop Lawyer. And because of this, he felt as though he was just only doing these roles because it was what he was most noticeable with. And once he learned that in voice acting, people are hiring you for your voice, they're not hiring you for your ability to do a voice. They're hiring they don't want Dr. Cop Lawyer played by Nolan North. They want Nolan North as Dr. Cop Lawyer. The same thing goes for, they don't want Tails voiced by Leah. They want Leah, who is the voice of Tails. It's much different when you examine it from that perspective of, if they wanted somebody who can do an impression, if they want somebody who could do a voice, they'd find someone better who could do it. But they cast you because they want your voice, not your capacity to do a voice. So keep that in mind. Funny thing with amateur acting is that you do the voice to help disassociate. Some people acting for it in foreign language have an easier time with their own voice. Yeah. And that's not to say doing a voice is bad. It's not bad at all. It's just that if you can't do it with your voice, if you can't make it work with your natural voice, how can you make it work with a different voice? If you're nothing with your voice, you're nothing without it. Or wait, if you're not, yeah. How does that, the Tony Stark quote? If you're nothing with the suit, then you're nothing. If you're nothing without the suit, what is it?
Yeah, if you're nothing without the suit, then you're nothing with it.
Yeah, if you're nothing without your voice, then you're nothing with it. So, keep that in mind. Your voice is special. People want you for your voice, not for your ability to do a Kermit the Frog impression. Sorry, Guaco, if you're here. Now, with all of this in mind, what has been the most difficult part for you about trying to grow as a voice actor, trying to find more roles, trying to do things like this? What has been some of your biggest challenges?
People, and this is probably specific to me, I guess, interestingly.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of roles, they want American either people or accents, which I am not very good at doing.
It's okay, neither am I.
It's difficult when it's difficult when I'm looking for a role and I see this character, I'm like, oh god, that's amazing, that fits me, and then the entire cast is American, and then there would be me with my accent that would very much stand out. And usually you don't want a character to stand out unless there's something very particular about them, for the most part. Like some games, some movies, some cartoons will have a character with a different accent specifically because they want that character to be noticed. So if you have an entire cast of American accent, or like a very similar accent, and then you have one character, fucking British, that's gonna stand out. And if it's a background character, they're not gonna go for me, because unfortunately it's not what their vision is. So I struggle a lot with trying to go for roles that aren't specifically set in either like medieval fantasy things, because for some reason that's almost predominantly British, or that the entire cast is also with a similar accent to mine. Apart from that, obviously the problem with demo reels that I mentioned before, I struggled a lot with trying to, because I didn't have a lot of money to get an actual demo reel put together. Like, I was confident in my voice, I'm confident in my acting, confident in what I want to do. My issue is just finding people. So when I had that experience with the person who, was weird, that kind of put me off even trying. So now I only go for roles where, like, I don't need a demo reel, which is also causing problems, because there's many roles that are like, hey, link your demo reel. And it's like, I mean, you can have it, but it's put together by me. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I've told people, there's nothing wrong with making your own demo reel when you're just starting out. Because the thing is, a lot of people tell you, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. I tend to disagree a little bit. Because if you need something to showcase your skills, your ability when you start out. And the thing is, typically, I'm sorry to say, Gooman, you're not gonna get that dream role, like just starting out. And I'm only saying that, Gooman, because you just happen to be there, and you know we've done some, you've done some stuff with my projects. I'm sorry. Love you, Gooman. Don't worry. You are good. My role as Pelican in 3, hell yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is that I call myself a voice actor. I've been doing voice acting for, you know, about 3 years now, but it's very off and on. And would I call myself a professional? Well, that's a whole different discussion. I don't like the distinction of professional versus amateur voice actors. But would I compare myself, would I put myself on the same pedestal as somebody like Chris Sabat, somebody like Alex Lee, somebody like, you know, Miley Flanagan, you know, all these wonderful voice actors? No, I wouldn't put myself up there. However, you need to get your start somewhere, and there's nothing wrong with making your own demo reel for projects to just that are just out here, that are not, you know, licensed by, say, Toei or like, you know, Katakawa. You know, it's those are all very professional productions, but there's nothing wrong with making your own demo reel. Like, I made my first one. It's okay. The world may never hear it, unless we maybe get a 100K bit. No, I'm just kidding. Look, I know my worth. It's worth how much my rent is. Wow, coincidence? Oh, but anyway. So, with this demo reel that you have, do you still use that, or how are you trying to work on making on a different one?
So I do have it. I have it linked in like my my link tree thingy, but it's kind of like I have it just because I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
As for currently working on a new one, I'm currently not. I really do need to, but getting past the ADHD to actually do it is a challenge. But I mostly, like, when I'm auditioning for roles, I mostly just audition for ones that have like a "hey, please read these lines" kind of thing, instead of "please send me your demo reel." Just because it's gonna be much easier for me to just try and like read the lines that they're giving for the audition, and then at one point I'll get a demo reel together one day.
Of course. and that's the thing, is that demo reel, it's such a weirdly taboo thing to talk about, because people just, they don't like being up front and just be like, this is what you need, this is how you will, you know, succeed in doing all this. They don't want to divulge their secrets and whatnot. And at the end of the day, it's like, why are you gatekeeping?
Yeah.
Don't gatekeep. If somebody wants to do it, sure. If they're not good, they'll learn they're not good, and they'll either stop or they'll work to get better and become the best thing you've ever heard. It's like, voice acting is one of those things where I love it as a profession, but a lot of the people in it are some of the most insufferable people I've ever met.
Though I have a story about insufferable people. It was not me, but a friend of mine, and I so a voice acting studio followed me on Twitter, and I followed them, and they seemed to give a lot of good advice. And then they were hiring people, not hiring, but like they were looking for people to join a workshop. And it was on things that I was already fairly confident in, but I told that friend about it, and they messaged the person asking. And the response that they got from the manager, like, I have unfollowed and blocked and everything that studio now, because I just didn't want to be associated with them anymore after that reply. They were rude about the fact that we use like a pen name, we use a stage name. So like, if I was to ever be credited in anything, it'd be Liari and not my actual name or anything like that. And they were like really rude to her about like, oh yeah, you're, you know, no one's going to take you seriously if you're using a stage name. No one's going to take you seriously if this. I know that all of you these days with your little anime profile pictures.
With your little anime profile pictures.
With your little anime profile pictures, and you want to get into the industry, but you need to understand this. This isn't like, broski. She was just asking about your goddamn workshop. She is quite literally showing that she wants to improve. And I just don't know why they were such a goddamn ass about it. I don't know, man. I want to quickly find the thing just to make sure I'm not paraphrasing anything incorrectly. Scroll.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. So she gave him her stage name because, you know, at this point, at least of who we are, it's, you know, we don't really want to give our real details out straight away, especially if it's just for like a workshop. If I'm gonna like work with a company, like with, you know, Crunchyroll or whatever, of course I'll give my details because it's kind of what they need. But I can also, I've seen credits, in fact, of people who have been credited as their stage name. But I digress. They said, I don't think we can work with you when we have no idea who you are and you're not even willing to give your name. Like, well, the name is the one that she's given. Why is it a difficult problem? Then they said acting involves opening up and being vulnerable. Like, yes, but not vulnerable with your personal information. And then, oh god, I found the sentence that I hated. It was, I realize, of course, that there's a little trend of many new young VAs putting up phony names and avatars of themselves on social media so no one knows what they look like. That's cute. And it may fly in some areas of the low-end world of low or no-paying indie projects, but it will never fly in big-time work. And I was just like, I do not want to work with you anymore. Whatever projects I may have had going on with you, whatever workshops I may have signed up with you, please unfollow me because I'm going to block you anyway.
We call that Project Red Flag.
Yeah, they were very, very rude, and it was really shocking for me to read that because they sent the message to me and they were heartbroken. This was someone who, like, she's doing really good now in voice acting. But she was heartbroken. She was like, am I doing this wrong? Do I need to change everything? Do I need to, like, she was heartbroken, and I had to, like, break down the entire message and just be like, this person is an asshole. Do not listen to him. And I was heartbroken that I even suggested that she talk to them. So, yeah. But yeah, that was, yeah, it was a terrible response, and I hate the idea of gatekeeping that kind of thing because there was just no need for that level of rudeness.
Might I offer my 2 cents on that? Terrible.
Of course.
That it's really interesting because you find it to be like, how big was this quote unquote studio?
Some, like, trying to think on what it was, like 10k followers or something. Not that that's not big, I guess, but like, yeah, 10k-ish followers.
It's funny because I've done voice work for indie game studios, and one of my favorite ones that I did was just for this little like game jam game, and I worked with, so I was sick, and I went to my desk and I was recording it. We're doing a live recording session, or we were doing like over Discord, you know, and I was just recording on mine and sending it to them. And like they had no budget, and I was like, look, you know, I will do this work for you for free because I like your game, and you know, you guys don't have a lot of money, so don't worry about it. And so, I mean, one of them was just like, you know, if there's a video, like a game you want, you know, like I have like a couple Steam or a couple keys that I got from the game jam. If you want, you can have them. Like, done. Take a free game. That's fine. We'll call it payment.
Oh yeah.
And so, I got this. On a side note, it says I got this really cool like Outrun-esque racing game. Super cool game. I think well worth it for the time I spent on the project. But the point is that of the developer and then the director just doing all the work with me, they were like so patient, they were so kind, and they're just like, they were firm in how they wanted it. So, you know, it wasn't every line was a success, but it was one of those things where one of the best projects I was a part of, but that's because they weren't getting too big for their britches, and they're like, yes, since, you know, we know what's better, we know what's best.
I'm so curious on what they've worked on that is apparently so good that they can you know, they can talk to people like this. Like, they've asked me obviously not to say anything or like to out them specifically.
Of course.
But like, yeah, if I was able to, holy crap, I would have dragged them through the course.
if I were to take a stab at it, most likely one of those more adult-oriented games that pop up on the new and trending section of Steam. You know, if you know those kinds of games I'm talking about, guys, you know what kind of games I'm talking about. Now, going forward, I guess taking what you've learned in mind with that, how are you trying to grow? How are you trying to prevent those kinds of things happening again? You know, what are you taking? What steps are you taking to make sure you continue to experience growth, whether that be in physical success or by personal growth and gains?
Do you mean like in VTubing or voice acting?
Why not both? Because we're gonna get into the growing expansion of your success right after this.
Well, on the voice acting side, I'm kind of specific with who I work with now. Like, I'll either work with people that I already know, or that I've like seen a track record of like quotation marks good behavior, I guess.
Of course.
From it's like even scrolling through Casting Call Club, like it's really annoying seeing all of these like, hey, I have 100,000 subscriber YouTube channel and I need a female voice to what is it? To do voiceovers on the games that I play, and like, so you want a catfish is what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, oh, I'm doing a Minecraft server and I need a voice actor for Minecraft RP or something, or another FNAF fan game, or yeah, I'm trying to like be very picky now, because I used to audition everywhere, and I just realized it's just getting me in more and more hot water that I just don't want to be in. So I'm kind of respecting my time more, I guess. Like, I'm trying to find a way I'm trying to find a way how to word this without it being like too up myself. But
it's you like, have done enough work. It seems you've done enough work to know your worth and to know what to avoid projects that will give you more trouble.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I know what I'm worth, and I know what like my name is worth, I guess. And I know what I can do, and I want to be very. I think I said this yesterday, where if I do associate myself with something, then I want to make sure it's like of the quality that I would expect from myself. So that's
Casting Call Club? Casting Call Club? Is that what it is over there? I have a few things to say that will not...
God, Casting Call Club it's definitely a great place!
It's definitely a great place.
It's definitely a place!
Let's see. Or you could go voice 1, 2, 3. No, don't do it. It's not good. Like, looking at... So, I do have a Casting Call Club account. But I don't think I ever do any projects through that. It's like, oh, here we are. This featured one I see. Sword Art Online Season 1 fan dub. First of all,
good luck.
Good luck, but secondly, if you're doing a fan dub of a production that already has an English version, like it already has
be vilified
in your language, yes. It's one thing if you do it for a project that doesn't have a dub in your language. That's one thing. Because then that's just a fan project, you know. But if it's already in your language, then that is a good way to get axed and blacklisted. Because because like I said, if there's already a dub in your language, leave it be. If there's not one in your language, sure, take a crack at it, have fun with it, and then get really depressed.
You're basically... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
You're basically saying that you think that the English did not do a good enough job and you can do better.
Yeah.
Krishna.
Citizens. I freaking like that.
Yeah, I call them citizens.
Hell yeah. So, it's... Or how about this one? Genshin Impact comic fan dubs into ASMR. It's like...
Oh, I can see where that's going.
Alright, here. Let me read this. Let me read this for a moment. This casting call is mostly for actors already in our team, but I have decided to also open up this casting call publicly because of the amount of characters. Please do not audition if you're not okay with voicing ASMR or swearing. Ah, yes, Nouvelette, medium priority. Huh?
A lot of people, I think, as well, they equate ASMR with what is probably going to end up being, very not safe for work, kind of, like... Yeah.
So it's talking about the fan dub. It's really interesting because because I'm a communications major. I'm in my senior year of college right now, of university, and I was taking a class called Communications Practicum. Now, it's a practicum course, meaning you take what you've learned throughout the communications degree, or just your degree in general, and you apply it. You use the skills you've learned and you apply it in whatever way you can. I chose to do basically a preliminary run of what my senior project will be, which is dubbing an episode of an anime. I tried my best to reach out to the distributor. I didn't get a response back, but I went ahead with the project anyway. It's education. It's not going to be posted anywhere. I'm not taking any of the rights. It's only being shown on my campus, and it's accepted that way as educational. And the only thing that was used is the footage, which I gave rights, I gave all that. So I went to the proper legal channels. I even spoke to my the copyright and legal professional on my campus, and he said, look, if it's not getting posted anywhere as just being shown here for a class, it's more than okay to do. I'm like, perfect. So I picked an anime that I really like. It's a cool little romance one, and I casted several people. I held auditions for 2 days. There's like 60 people that auditioned for it. There were only like 6 roles. There's a lot of people who auditioned. It was in-person auditions, very much how you would see in the real world. And so we spent 3 weeks rehearsing and then another week recording. And it was fantastic. And the dub that I was able to do with all the sound effects, using the music from the original show, it was fantastic. I thought my dub was really good. And so you imagine my surprise when I find out that this anime from 2014, last year, finally got an English dub. And it was not that good. It made me really sad because I was like, yeah, like it's not that they weren't terrible. Like the lead actress, I think she did the best. She really did her best. Everyone else just kind of half-assed it. But the point I'm trying to make with all of this is, when I went through this, I went through the proper legal channels. I did my best to make sure, everything was kept small to a minimum, and I didn't choose a project that had already been dubbed. So if you're gonna do that, guys, don't pick one that's already been dubbed. Like Sword Art Online Season 1 fan dub. This has 46 roles, 841 submissions. And this is, it was listed in August. It was listed back in August. Sorry, this entire thing was brought on because of Casting Call Club. Pardon me. I think DBZ needs an English dub. Anyway, I'm sorry, I got way off track. Last question pertaining to this. Do you have any advice that you would want to give to people, to VTubers specifically, who are looking to get more experience or break into this field that isn't just
into voice acting?
Into voice acting, not necessarily like just anime, but just like voice acting in general,
Actually hit the record button instead of just staring at it.
Oh my gosh, amen to that.
Like, I struggled a lot with doing auditions, and I still struggle now because I get that kind of like that performance anxiety. No, don't laugh.
Don't laugh.
Just hitting the button. Yeah, performance anxiety. I know my chat's gonna laugh at the word. I get that anxiety of just like hitting the button. Because I'm like, I can't do it. Oh no, I can't do the thing. But then the moment that I hit the button and I start doing it, then that's when I am able to actually do it. So just like hit the button and then just keep going. Staring at the button is not going to magically make the fields be filled, so to speak.
That's very good advice. It's funny. I actually said that in my... I only thought of it that way because she brought it up that way. We're going to laugh. We give head.
You say that like you're trying to blame me. It's always how they do this. Gaslighting little bastards.
They know who they are. That's something I've been making sure to express a lot more. Is that I want to make a little video about this too. So did you see the post all that I made on Twitter about the very first, like when I announced this project? It's okay if you didn't. Um,
It probably got washed away with all the other stupid algorithm, but yes.
so, way back in, let's see, October 10th of this month, I put out a post saying, I have a horror audio drama script written with sound effects. I just need some VTuber voice actors to help me fill a couple roles and to time it out for the editing. If you're interested, drop a comment or a demo reel. Over 100 reposts, over 1,000 likes, 54,000 views on Twitter, 222 bookmarks, and 415 comments later, only about 30 only about 30 or about 45 people auditioned. Oh, thank you, Zed. I appreciate that. Thank you for following. You just threw 25 Dr. Peppers. You can now throw 50 more. Anywho, there was about 40 people who auditioned. Of the 400 comments I got and 200 bookmarks that people did, only 40 people auditioned.
Mm-hmm.
And most of those people, about half of those people got picked. So, if that doesn't tell you about the travesty of not trying, that means you had a 50% chance of getting cast in this production. But the problem is, I put out the information. I said, I'm holding auditions, and I'm doing all of this. Come be a part of it. And only 40 people did. So, those people who auditioned have my utmost respect because they chose to audition, knowing full well that it's a big and scary thing to do. That's all I gotta say on that.
Shut up.
Stay scared. Improves other shit. It's take the chance. It is the worst they could say is no. And don't be like, oh, but they could say worse than no. It's like, shush. It's the worst thing that can happen is you don't get it. The best thing is you do get it. That's a 50-50 shot. And guess what? If you don't try out, you've already failed. If you're about to take a test, you already failed the test if you don't show up and take it. But if you do take the test, well, now your ability will prove whether or not you passed the test.
Yeah.
And clearly with a 50% pass rate, or you have to have a 50% or better to score to get to pass. I'd take those odds. Would you take those odds, Leah?
Yeah, of course.
I'd take those odds. Those are damn fine odds. I'll try next time attitude. Don't have that attitude. It's not good. I totally expect to fail that audition and start my training arc there. Look, XCOM odds, let's go! Remember, in XCOM at least, your odds are never 100%. Even when it says 100%, it's only 95. Well, I think with the last couple of minutes we have, let's talk about your recent success. And that is, you are getting... Never take the 95, always take the 71. Amen to that. You've been experiencing a lot of... If it ain't 100%, it's 0. That's XCOM, baby. I didn't realize there's so many people who play XCOM. Heck yeah. XCOM is a fantastic game. I love XCOM too. Your recent success. You've been growing a lot. You passed... Oh, excuse me. That Dr. Pepper is fighting me. At 2.5K followers here on Twitch. I want to say about where was it? Because I had it pulled up. There it is. You recently passed 1,000 followers on Twitter, and just growth in all this regard. You're getting sponsorships. Let's talk about it. How is all this coming about? Heck, Small VTuber Awards nominee.
I don't know. So the Small VTuber Awards is definitely due to the efforts of my community. Like, I genuinely I wouldn't be anywhere without the Kittizens. If they hadn't banded together and nominated me, and even friends, friend circles and people that are spreading the word and that kind of thing, if people hadn't nominated me, then of course I definitely wouldn't be a finalist. So it's mostly my community I have to thank for that. They've been incredibly incredibly supportive of everything that I do. If I ever say like, hey, I want to go for this kind of thing, they're nothing but supportive, and they're always kind of cheering me on to do my best and like to kind of go for things. And yeah, so for the Small VTuber Awards, yeah, they definitely my community. They're the ones that really pulled through on that. As for growth in general, I don't really know what happened to kind of kick things off. Like things are going incredibly fast, and I don't know how or why. I mean, there's obviously the generic kind of like, you know, I'm posting everywhere. I post shorts on YouTube and TikTok and whatever, and I talk a lot on Twitter. I do a lot of like, I try to do some events and stuff as well. Like, you know, model appreciations and you laugh you lose type things, that kind of thing. And I guess for kind of like what we said before about taking chances. When I was on Lurkit, and I was kind of scrolling through the various quests that they have. The quests are what Lurkit calls sponsorships, and I saw one for Conqueror's Blade, and I looked through everything that we needed to do, and I was like, you know what, YOLO, I'll submit my my bid for this, and I you know, told them how much I wanted to play the game and stuff, and then they got back to me and they were like, yeah, sure, here's this code, can you do these things, can you talk about these things, this is the things that you need to do. And they were really, really lovely. I talked to like one of the community guys on Discord who gave me like the info that I needed to talk about, and of course I enjoyed the game as well. It wasn't just you know, doing something for the sake of doing it. I played the game and just had lots of fun. It was literally just a case of I saw something that I thought could be pretty interesting, and I guess my standing and numbers and reputation, I guess, kind of spoke for itself. And yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of really I try and, I don't know how to word this in the best possible way, and chat's probably gonna laugh at me, but I try to like have my fingers in a lot of pies, so to speak.
Yeah.
I try to be up in everyone's business, and then that's kind of somehow resulted in everyone having my name somewhere on their tongue at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's starting to get to points where like oh god, okay. I swear to God, I'm not trying to sound like I'm up myself.
No, don't. That's the thing. If it's hard work that you've earned, this is something I've learned very recently. Is there's a time and a place for you know, pride and all that. But if there's something that you've genuinely worked hard to achieve, there's nothing wrong with saying, yeah, I did work hard to earn this. You know, I'm not saying I deserve this, but, you know, yeah, I did earn this. So don't worry.
There's times where like I go into a lot of people's streams, or I follow people on Twitter, and then they message me and they're like, "Holy crap! I didn't realize I was on your radar." And I was like, "What do you mean? I just liked your model." Or like I go into people's streams and they lose their goddamn shit because I say hi, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's Liari!" Like, I was just enjoying the content.
It's
and
funny
it's
because
really weird.
that's also been like that's been happening for me too. Is just it's one of those things where when you work hard to foster a community and foster a presence by just being genuine and being good, it tends to pay dividends in the aspect of people see you for who you are. And it's like, I was telling my head mod about this the other day of just like, because he flew into my town to help me build my new PC, my new streaming PC. And he did that, and I was popping into a couple of to chats, and every time I did, people would lose their minds. I'm like, I'm just here. I'm not that. I'm just a little guy. I'm not that big. I don't deserve this fanfare. And it's just one of those things where if you do everything right and you're trying to stay on the right path for yourself, it tends to work out. Hopefully.
in even like through my own hard work, I guess, there's still like my artist. I definitely wouldn't be here without him because he fucking busts his butt to do art things, or if I'm ever like, Rez, I want this kind of thing, and he makes things for me. Siren is my editor. And he busts his ass getting shorts out for me and scrubbing through my VODs and doing stuff. So I definitely, the growth that I have is definitely wouldn't at least be without those two to start with.
Yeah.
And then even then, just like the support, like I know I'm going back to the community thing, but like the community just as a whole are so. I've seen VTubers even more popular than I guess, but they have so disconnected communities. They're like, I don't know how best to word it, but their community is like they'll watch them when they're live, and then that's kind of it. They disappear until they're live again, if that makes sense. Whereas my community is, it feels like they're constantly, cheering for me even when I'm not live. If I post that like I want to go for the Small VTuber Awards, and I was like, oh, it would be really cool if I got nominated, and they were like, bet.
And so the key to your success is your community.
Yes. Teal dear.
All right, push them aside. What's real secret? What's the secret?
Okay, yeah, well, you see, you're gonna have a really, really nice voice like me.
Okay, is it I'm just referencing the button thing. I saw earlier. It's the button. There's a missing button right there. I see on your model. Is that it?
I sold I sold the button for success. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yep.
All right, guys, you heard it here. It's not community.
Sell your buttons. Sell your buttons.
Sell your lower button so you can reveal the belly button. That's all it is, man. Midriff success. You can't see mine, but I will say, when I get a new model for this, don't worry, I'll have that toggle. You'll be able to see only the belly button, nothing else. It'll still be the suit, just belly button. I hate that.
On a side note, Rezex is the person that made my model, my opening, almost every piece of art you see, apart from Jaggery. Rezex, the guy in chat, is the one that made everything. So yeah, hi Rez.
Hell yeah. I have my main artist. His name is Apophis Nova, and he's done, aside from my model, he's done every bit of art on my channel that you see. He designed all of my assets, my overlays, even this set. I gave him the basic sketch for it, and he made all of this. And so
that's really cool.
Now I had to throw all of that crap that you see in the animation running in the background, the little city skyline there. That one was made. He made that. I had to throw that in After Effects and animate all of that, and boy howdy. It was hard. It was annoying. But I don't regret it because it was, he makes fantastic work. I mean, heck,
yeah.
If you look, where is it? Where's Funko Val? If I get rid of my model, I get rid of the chair. There it is. You guys can see. That's right. He's in a chair. He made Funko Val, and Funko Val is sitting on a shelf behind my chair in a jar. New merch. Look, if I ever got Val merch, I don't know what I would do.
That's a fun thing. I suppose I can probably reveal here for the few that are here as like a super secret something or other. Sometime in November, I will actually be partnering with Uwu Market, and we'll be releasing some Liari merch. So keep your eyes out for that. Oh well, but you didn't hear it from me.
No, I didn't hear it from you. I've been meaning to speak to somebody about maybe getting some merch, like a distributor and all that. I don't know. Well, I think there was somebody who I was talking to. Kenny, that's who it was. Forgot. I need to remember what all his if I could find him, because he also had a Kenny Sue is his name, and yes, I just can't remember his merch company that he has, but it's a good merch company.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anywho, I think it's time for us to wrap this up. Please look forward to.
Magical Bard has a question for you.
Oh! I was too busy looking at trying to look at that up. Oh, when are we?
Oh, it's okay, Val. I'll keep you on track. Don't you worry, wee man.
Ah, thank you. Well, since I don't have to go to that meeting, you know. Yes, Bard, what is your question? Is it about Leah doing a backflip? What is the rarest piece of Dr. Pepper merch you own? I have a pair of Dr. Pepper dress socks that I only wear for special occasions with my blue suit that I have IRL. That is the only I think that's the only Dr. Pepper merch I own. So, but those are dress socks, and so they're thin. And so I don't wear them that much because it's very easy to wear dress socks through. But yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, Dr. Pepper on top. Oh yeah, in case of emergency, get the Dr. Pepper. I had a pair of 30-year-old anniversary edition glass bottles unopened. Oh, that's sick. Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
I want more Dr. Pepper. See, that's the thing. I'd love to get a Dr. Pepper partnership. I probably wouldn't drink anything, but I'd love to get a partnership for that. I mean, heck, you guys throw Dr. Pepper at me. But anywho, I think it's when you need your thirst quenched. On a side note, the next VTuber voice acting project I'm doing is we're bringing back. Have you submitted to be a part of the Dr. Pepper fan club? I have not. The next VTuber voiceover event I'm doing is we're doing a return to the cursed radio ads. So,
Ooh.
I might do a Dr. Pepper related one. I want Val as the face of DP. No.
Don't abbreviate it. Don't abbreviate it.
You know, it's funny.
Don't abbreviate it.
Honest. The new face of DP. Well,
No.
You heard it here, guys. What's wrong with you? No! Alright. You ruined it.
Anyway, moving on. Wow, would you look at the time?
Would you look at the time? It's time for us to do our last 10 questions. Love me and mighty helping of DP. Oh, thank you, Sock. I appreciate it.
It was a mistake to bring you all here.
Val, the rep of DP. The truth is, I could make so many jokes, but for the sake of professional,
that's not what I said, Rashuna. But anyway,
for the sake of professionalism, I won't. Leah's not a fan of DP. No.
Not what I said. But moving on.
No. She hates DP. Damn. Look. Sometimes I'll leave you guys with this. I will indulge you once. Sometimes a little DP goes a long way. And if you have friends to share it with, then by all means, that's a spirit of good DP.
I hate it here. I actually hate it here. Why did I?
A community is best seen and not heard. Amen to that.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm only reveling in this because I was in a Chibi Doki stream one time, and she was talking about different sodas. She somehow talked about Squirt, which is a lemon lime soda, and then I asked her, and I said in chat, and I said, Chibi, how do you like Dr. Pepper? And she, without hesitation, she goes, I've never had DP before. And then
it may interest you to know that in England we have a fizzy drink called Pussy.
Why?
Just wanted you to know that.
Why?
Why not?
Why?
I love it.
What?
The drink is okay too.
God damn it. I walked into that one.
Yeah.
Why? And I say this in the kindest way. There is so many wonderful VTubers out there, but damn, they're all pretty gay, and that's pretty cool by me. I say that as a pansexual man myself. So don't worry, guys. I'm just saying. What's DP if not Dr. Pepper?
I'll DM you later, Alm. Don't worry.
So it means Anyway. let's get into our last 10 questions. Let's get into our last 10 questions.
Yes.
I had to create a stream marker for this. You all are getting placed in the YouTube short. I don't care. You all are getting placed in the YouTube short. There's also a chip brand called Porno. Hi YouTube, let us in. Alright, it's time for our last 10 questions. So, these 10 questions were created by writer, actor, director James Lipton that often asks his guests on the show inside the actor studio. There are no right or wrong answers. They're just for us to see what your response is. Now, for those that are new to this, I highly encourage you guys in chat to answer along in the chat with me, because it's a lot of fun. No, not the DP. Hi, YouTube. I love Squirt. Good for you, Gooman. Look, it's funny. After all this time, I've been streaming, and Dr. Pepper has been a big thing on my channel. This is the first time they've ever, like, ganged and made the DP joke. So...
You chose ganged? You chose the word ganged for that, really?
What's wrong with that?
Anyway, no, it's fine. 10 questions. Let's go.
Okay, I feel like I'm missing context here. Val loves when the... No! Why are you guys like this?
I apologize for my community. They're not associated with me. Don't worry about it.
You know what, guys? I'll tell you what. When I stream, just come into all... No, fuck. No!
Yeah, Val. Yeah, you good?
I'll tell you what, guys. Why don't you show up to all of my streams and you can spam that as much as you want. You just have to stay the entire stream. Guess what? I'm having another episode of the VOD tomorrow and my VTuber voiceover event on Wednesday. Why don't you show up and you can spam that in chat all you want. The entire stream. Okay? Then it's a deal. Val, please. No, stop. 10 questions.
Yes.
10 questions. You know what's funny? I don't think I've ever said the F word. I don't really swear on stream. And you guys almost made me say the F word.
I'm so happy to almost be your first.
Hush you. Hush you.
I didn't say a thing.
Retro Tom, why are you like this? Why are you like this? Our very first question. Leah, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. This is almost as chaotic as when I had Pink Zombie on, and she's just like, yes, keep cheering bits, keep gifting subs, keep doing that. Let's crash the stream by doing all of this. And people kept gifting subs and cheering bits, and that went on for like 15 minutes. And we could not, every 5 minutes, somebody would do something that would cause Dr. Pepper to be thrown, and we would just go over time. All right. First question. Leah, what is your favorite word?
Doggo.
Doggo?
Yes, I actually, when you sent me these, I was kind of thinking about it a little bit, and doggo is just, it's just such a nice word. And it's so, it slips off the tongue so easily as well, and yeah, doggo.
I love the word doggo. Oh my gosh.
Not even rutabaga. Look, no one knows what a rutabaga is, okay?
Why are you like this, rogue? It's better not be the start of something. If it does, I swear. I like doggo. What is your least favorite word?
Oh, God. See, the problem is when I say it, right? Oh, no, don't worry, Al, don't worry. When I say it, chat's gonna just spam it, and I hate it.
Okay.
But my least favorite word is moist. Ugh. It's such a horrible word.
So if I say just a moist towel, do you just not like that, or is it when somebody says it like, is it when somebody says like they get really into it, just moist?
Why are you like this?
Well, no. So I only ask it like that.
No, it's just it's the word in general. I hate it. I hate seeing it written down and just blah, blah. Terrible word.
Also, just know, guys, Rogue had cheered 500 bits. That means 1,000 of these items are being thrown. So we're gonna be here for a little bit. But the reason why I ask about it is because we had somebody else who said moist was their least favorite word. And then they're like, no, I don't have a problem with the word itself when they say moist. I have a problem when they say it, like, they purposely say it all sussily. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Welcome, Motsky.
Hi, Botsky.
Botsky.
Yeah, because he's a bottom and should be under my foot.
Ayo.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. What inspires you creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Music, definitely.
Music.
I come up with all of my D&D campaigns and just everything for creative stuff, and just in general I get my my confidence from just listening to music. It's the main thing that kind of drives me for things. If I'm feeling uninspired, then I'll usually just put a song on and then yeah.
Do you have a favorite genre?
Instrumental. Generally. So things like Two Steps from Hell, The Honor in Her Efforts, Audio Machine, that kind of thing.
See, I'm a jazz guy, and so when you said instrumental, I'm like, oh, jazz? Maybe? A lot of people don't like jazz. It makes me sad. Jazz.
I'm not a fan.
Then you were incorrect. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
Strong words from such an adorable little femboy.
What ruins your inspiration? How dare you call me out in that voice?
Look, I'm being relatively tame. Chat can attest.
Whatever you can throw, I can handle it.
Oh, sure thing, honey. Baseless negativity, I think.
Baseless negativity.
Yeah, it's hard to put it into words, but when people are kind of just negative and just hating on the thing because it's either the cool thing to do, or if I try and share my passion with someone, or if I have a really cool idea and the person just doesn't even give me the time of day, and it's like, oh, this shit, and I'm just like, oh, okay then.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I've experienced that a lot in my life. It's like, geez, why are you so mean? I just feel like it right now. It's like, okay, so you're being rude for the sake of being mean. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, right. It's odd.
It's been bad. Valentine. You about to drop weights like Rock Lee? Hell yeah. Are you restraining yourself? Is that what's going on?
Very much so. Very much so. I'm usually way worse than that.
It's fine. We're in the last moments. Feel free to unrestrain yourself. Don't do it on my accord. Now, if it's about jazz, I'm gonna have to unrestrain myself. Freaking love jazz. All right, what is your favorite curse word, Leah?
Fuck.
Wow, you said that.
Which is why I was telling Alm to wait for a second.
You're saying that with a little meat behind it, little effort.
Yeah, fuck is a great word.
It is the most popular one.
Very flexible.
It is the most popular of swear words.
It is.
So, what makes it? Do you have a unique take on it? Something that other people, that might not be their reason? She says it in every sentence.
I say it every sentence. Yeah, that's that's literally it. It's my go-to word. For I see what you did with that flexible comment. Hey. I don't know. I kind of it's my go-to for everything. I had an accident yesterday where I fell over and fucking slammed my head on my shelf. But when the chair was tipping over, for some reason I managed to get it in my head that I could yell "fuck" and then I fell. Instead of saving myself.
Chat, you were
Instead of saving myself, I just yelled "fuck."
That happens.
We shite. Yeah, we shite is good as well. Yeah.
Chat, you need to settle down. Where's the bonk? That's all I gotta say.
Are you jealous?
No, I'm professional.
Sure thing, honey.
I mean, sure thing. Don't you desecrate the sanctity of that couch. You're
the one that invited me to the couch, just saying.
What sound or noise do you love?
Rain on a window. it's or like kind of rain kind of hammering down, like that kind of white noisy type of sound. It's hard to describe, but yeah, sound of really heavy rain on a window is really, really nice.
Shut, all of you. There is that. Excuse me. I like rain on the window, and I'd love to live in a place that rains all the time, or every other day. Sunshine is nice, but the thing is, I don't know. I like it when I like clouds. I grew up in a desert most of my life, and so because of that, having where the yes, but then I have to move to the UK. No offense.
No offense taken. It's a shithole.
So is America, but for different reasons. The Pacific Northwest. See, I've spent time in the Pacific Northwest, and it's nice. I like it there. It's okay. It's all right. So, no, they're for the same reasons. Sure. Now, what sound or noise do you hate?
Okay, this one's kind of difficult because I'm scared of loud noises. So I was thinking of like thunder or fireworks, but literally anything that's loud kind of scares me. That wasn't even that loud. Nice try. Also, fuck you for trying to make me scared. But yeah, no, I whenever I hear thunder, like I have a husky, and you'd think that a dog hearing thunder would be worse, but no, I'm the one hiding under the blankets, and Fable's just like, "What's wrong with you?" So yeah,
it happens to the best of us. Cat. Just like a real fox, it happens to the best of us. I loved the sound of thunder. Like, I guess to me, growing up, again being in a desert, it was like anytime thunderstorms would happen, we'd be like, please feed our fertile ground, give us the luscious nutrients that we need for this summer's harvest. And so, like, I remember it once rained for it was a constant thunderstorm for like an hour when I was a kid, and it was magical because we were just playing out in the rain. Like, I was like probably 10 or 11 years old, and I was just playing with my brothers. We were just, dude lived on a wreck or something. Basically, look, the city of Las Vegas, man. Whoever, old Kit Carson and, well, actually, no, it was more of the Mormons who settled in the Las Vegas Valley. They're like, yep, there's a great place. We have a lake here right next to it, and it's all cool. And then now we're just like, cool, 110 to 120 degree heat. It's yeah, look at that. I have 2 homies live in Vegas. Great time. They hate it. Yeah, there's a reason I'm not moving back. I'm not moving back once I graduate. So, good question. What is y'all's canon event? We'll answer at the end. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh god. I wanted to be a vet. I wanted to work with animals in general, like a rescue or something. I really like Save a Fox. I would love to do like a fox rescue, though I don't think they're too needed in the UK because we don't really as far as I'm aware, we don't have a huge fur like a fur trade for fox fur anyway. Or not huge enough that a rescue is needed. But yeah, I wanted to work with animals, so a vet or something like that.
I had my family, we used to board horses, and at one point we had 31 horses on our property because we had a big old horse barn.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, we had those, we had chickens, we had geese, we had ducks, you know. It was genuine, it was almost like a farm, but you know, horses are cool animals.
Yes.
So,
I love horses.
If I wasn't doing audio, I might work with horses. So, what profession would you not like to do?
Footballer. I don't
Football?
know, man. Anything sporty, I guess, but like footballer, because holy crap,
What's wrong?
I can't really walk properly anyway, but...
You tell me you don't want to walk out onto a pitch and take a line drive towards the goalie? Try and... I'd get absolutely trucked by one of the defenders.
I feel like your football and my football. Okay, you're talking about rugby. I'm talking about football in the UK sense, which you weirdos call soccer.
No, I know what I was talking about.
Okay, just making sure.
Because I've seen, especially when it comes to any time watching Argentina, so Argentina or Brazil, just those guys go hard, and then I see like Portugal, they go hard, and just one of the, just it's always that's like, at least in football, like American football, they have padding, they have helmets that can help reduce that. People in soccer, boy howdy, they get trucked. And that's something that, like, the idea of somebody just getting their feet taken out, because at least in American football, that's a straight penalty. If you try and tackle someone from below the waist, that is a big penalty, because that could seriously hurt somebody. And so but in soccer, in the original football, if you will, pardon me, football, that's just, they're just
good boy.
Yeah, thank you. Getting somebody sliding straight into your shins and just slamming against the ground. I've seen far too many injuries far too many ones in soccer against football that I'm like, yeah, I could never play professional. I would never be a good professional soccer player.
Yeah.
Now, is there a sport that you wouldn't mind playing?
It's hard to say. Like I said, I struggle with walking because of an issue with my feet. But I think I did netball in school. Maybe that.
Netball?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, esports is a sport, right?
Esports is a
I'll
sport.
do some esports. I'll be a professional league player. God.
It's a new emerging sport. So
yeah.
I guess we're now down to our last question.
Oh,
if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates? Freaking love volleyball. Sorry.
So I thought about this one a lot because I don't believe or anything. I'm not Christian, or I don't believe in a god or anything like that.
Of course.
So I took a while to actually think about this one. But I don't know. Maybe my answer is probably a bit weird, but the thing that I would like to hear a god say if heaven exists is just sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry for... Oh god, okay, it's gonna get deep. Sorry for everything that I've ignored. We can
leave it at sorry. I think leaving it that open-ended where people to interpret that themselves, I think, is the best course of action on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's our show. How do you feel?
Pretty good. I have been holding in peeing this entire time, however.
Oh my gosh!
I forgot to go before this started. I've been wiggling on my seat.
My goodness. Then, do you need to go use the bathroom?
Not like need, but I mean, eventually I will when we end.
Okay, well, we'll try and wrap this up. Also, who was it that asked it? I think that was... Where was it? Bard. I think that was Bard who said that, or oh no, it was Motski. It was, what is y'all's canon event? I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Either. What the fuck is a canon event?
It's an event in your life that is unchanging. That everything in your life is determined from that.
Becoming a VTuber, probably.
For me, I think it was me almost dying on a mountain. I was stranded on the side of a mountain during a blizzard. And I had to hike up a mile. I had to hike up like a mile in waist-deep snow. Because if we stayed, it was either that or we tried our best to ski down a mile downhill on fresh powder. Which, if you know skiing, you can't really do that well because you'll just keep falling down. And so it was either that, we sit tight and we hope someone finds us because they had stopped the lift. So nobody was coming up, or we hiked all the way back up, and that's what we chose to do, and it was grueling, it was awful, and we chose to hike up that, and if I didn't, I probably would have not been found, probably would have died. So... Oh, God. That's where we are today. Moving to Norway, there you go. Alrighty then. Well, it's time for me to ask my second, or last, and in my opinion, oh my gosh. It is time for me to ask my last, and in my opinion, my second most important question, that is, Leah, who shall we rate that we have not rated before?
Glossiara is a wonderful streamer. She is someone that I met very early into both her journey and my own journey. And she was I was the first person that she ever collabed with, and she was around, I think, like the second or third person that I ever collabed with. She calls me mom, which is kind of adorable. And yeah, she is a wonderful streamer, and I think that she deserves everyone's love. I'll send you her name just in case.
Sure, if you want to put it in chat for everyone to see, I will address the chat. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful episode of the VOD, and thank you for joining us and supporting our wonderful guest today. Let me give one final shout out, though. I want to say that, you know, a lot of people are just, you brought your community here. So they are already, your community is feisty.
Yeah, they are. They
all,
say they take after me, but
I was gonna say a person's community is a good representation of who they follow. So if that's anything,
I'm innocent. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you sure about that?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll keep it at that. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this wonderful episode of the VOD today. Before I met her, don't give her credit for my behavior. Damn.
Oh yeah, true. He was an ass before I met him. Yeah.
She lied as casually as she breathed. Dang.
Hey, breathing's hard.
Wow. Well, let me get all these things out. Where is it? Socials. Guys, if you want to support me on my social media, that would be wonderful. I do this, try this twice a week where I get a bunch of wonderful VTubers. Come support them. They're awesome. If you want to support me on Twitter, that's so you can see my trash takes. I'm almost at 1,000 followers on Twitter. Consider following me here on Twitch. If you want to see mediocre content that I pass as, no, I'm just kidding. It's content, I will say. If you want to support me on YouTube, that's where the past shows and the past VODs of the VODs will be. We recently passed over 100 subscribers on YouTube. So, heck yeah to that. And that's basically it in terms of all that stuff. So, I have a throne if you want to support me. I have a Discord if you want to join my Discord. It's a fast-growing one. We're past 300 people in it, which, damn, it's a lot of people. And lastly, let's get these raid messages going. The first one is for our wonderful subscribers, and the one below it is for our wonderful bottoms. I mean, our wonderful followers. So, if you want to use those emotes above, consider subscribing. Or subbing. Subbing and, yeah. I was going to make a joke.
Who are you now?
Yep. You guys, if you want to be a bunch of subs for me, I'd welcome that. Anywho, let's see. So, where is that name?
Oh, God.
Glossiara.
Yes.
Yes. And they're playing TCG Card Shop Simulator.
They are.
So, let's get that going. And thank you again, Leah, for such an interesting episode, to say the least. I think that's the only thing that's appropriate in how I can describe it. But yeah, thank you so much for being a part of the show, and I really look forward to seeing you for future voiceover events. I better see you.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me on.
Heck yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for this episode of the VOD. My name is Val. This has been Liari, and join me tomorrow as we have Icy Pants for our next guest on the VOD. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.